Evening, everyone, and welcome to RFL. I'm Richard French. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And we are following breaking news if you're just getting in, and it's coming out of Staten Island. A grand jury has decided not to indict. I repeat, not to indict Officer Daniel Pantaleo, who's accused of putting 43-year-old Eric Garner in a deadly chokehold over the summer. The grand jury was made up of 23 jurors, 14 of them, it turns out, were white, 9 non-white, at least 5 of the non-whites black. We are turned now to reporter Samantha Liebman, who was on the ground in Staten Island, in fact, in the Bay Street area, St. George area, I should say, of Staten Island, where that infamous incident caught on video occurred. Samantha.
Good evening, Richard. Well, we're actually in Tompkinsville on Bay Street, where Eric Garner was seen in that video being placed in an apparent chokehold July 17th. A small group of people gathered here just shortly after the decision was announced, and there has been a steady stream of people here protesting, holding signs, holding candles, very upset at this decision. But, you know, up until this point, there has been very little police presence, if any. Actually, I'm just seeing a police vehicle come by for the first time in a couple of hours. But it was a different story down at the courthouse earlier. The barricades started going up when the decision came down, and the police presence increased when that decision was announced. However, Staten Island DA Dan Donovan did not hold a press conference, but he did issue a statement expressing his condolences to the Garner family and explaining how his office handled the investigation, but he didn't go into much detail about the grand jury's decision or the evidence presented. Now, folks started gathering here on Bay Street chanting, "I can't breathe," the words Eric Garner said in that video when he was being held down by police. Folks here disappointed with the grand jury's decision not to indict, none more so than his stepfather, who is urging demonstrators to be peaceful.
Not indict the person who, killed the guy, I feel is upsetting. I hope everybody can keep the peace and try, but, you see everybody's upset. He's a good guy, too. I know, family friend, and he didn't deserve it.
Now, so far, these demonstrations have been peaceful, but there was fear among some business owners that there may be violent protests like what they saw in Ferguson after a grand jury there decided not to indict the police officer in the shooting death of Michael Brown. So far, demonstrations here are very peaceful, and we are hearing that there should be many more across the city. For now, we're live in Tompkinsville on Staten Island. Samantha Liebman, FiOS 1 News.
Thank you, Samantha. And speaking of those protests, we understand that they're going to be from everywhere from Grand Central to Union Square. We're even seeing some in Times Square. We will be hearing later on this evening, in fact, Reverend Sharpton will be holding a press conference in Harlem at 7:30 at his headquarters, and our own Dominic Carter, who we'll hear from in a little bit. He is on scene already, so we'll be getting that reaction as well. Now, the mayor spoke in the last hour, and he made it very clear, and we'll only have time to show you a portion of it because I want to bring in our panel in a moment, but he made it very clear he not only understands the frustration of a lot of New Yorkers and people in the metropolitan area, let alone the country, for the decision not to come down with an indictment today. If you read between the lines, he sympathizes with it as well. Take a listen. This is a small part of what Mayor de Blasio had to say, as I said just minutes ago.
No family should have to go through what the Garner family went through. And the tragedy is personal to this family, but it's become something personal to so many of us. It's put in stark perspective the relationship between police and community. These issues have come to the fore again, and we have to address them. We have to address them with all our might. We can't stop. We have to act with the assumption that it's all of our jobs to never have a tragedy again. That's what we have to fight for.